You're popular now. Don't make it weird with strangers just because you're a little bit famous. You know, it was like we thought it was common sense stuff. To be fair, I was 23 at the time. Probably shouldn't have been teaching anyone anything. But, you know, you get an opportunity, you got to run with it. And we'll see if Rogue can run with this opportunity. Segue. Yeah, you like that? Because, you know, every cloud has a silver lining, and the silver lining for us is we get to talk about Trick again for the first time since 2016. And a lot of you might note that he played many years after 2016, but those were the years we were excited about the Trick show. And if any team can lose to Trick jungle Malrank support,
is it KOI?
it might be.
I don't think it is.
It might be. They get cocky sometimes. You've seen it.
I mean, sure.
You remember Psycho KOI last year, 2024 KOI, winter, crazy aggro. Same exact level of crazy aggro in spring. Oh, they were feeding. They were feeding like mad.
Yeah, sure. Let's run with that. Let's see what they give us today.
I'm just trying to spawn a little bit of hope. This game does not really matter.
I mean, it doesn't matter at all. There's nothing on the line here.
Well, the distinction between third and fourth might matter from like a pride pedigree perspective, but ultimately KC, who are first, will just decide their opponent. And so I don't think that the results of this game are going to change their minds on who they want to pick. I probably assume it'll be KOI regardless, but maybe they feel good about that G2 matchup. That is a conversation for another time, though. For now, entering picks and bans. Full focus here. Nidalee taking off the board. Trick doesn't want to see it. Mayhaps we get the iconic Trick Gragas support. 2016 special. Him, Perks, jungle mid duo. This time it's him and Larson. Can they replicate for the sake of my nostalgia?
What rabbit hole are you going down right now?
I don't know, man.
What Gragas support you mean for Trick, who has played jungle?
This is my Spider-Man homecoming. You have to understand. If Larson stepped aside and Perks got on stage right now, just 2016 G2,
okay,
you understand what I mean?
Yeah,
like this is
no, I get you now.
This is my Roman Empire right now, okay?
Okay, cool.
Full nostalgia. Kikis was top. He played Rammus top, man. He was a different time. We're not in that year right now. It's a Varus ban. Everything's pretty standard.
Their first pick? Yeah,
also.
Okay. It looks like teams are going to take this game seriously. Sometimes back in the old LEC days, we would have some games for fun.
Oh yeah, a lot of Shakos.
Shako jungle.
What I will say is, and it would be nice if the game was semi-serious, because what we learned was when the draft was full troll, all of the fun champions in League of Legends, terrible at sieging.
Yeah,
so the first 15 minutes, even if that Shako was 10-0, it takes him 30 minutes to end the game.
Yeah, fun tangent for you all. In any case, Ari Vi going to be the lock-in from the side of KOI. A powerful early game mid-jungle duo that sets Jojo and Elyoya up for success. The Pantheon response should come as no surprise. Trick going to be looking to play a little bit more aggressively on the Rift with a dive AD carry to follow up with the Kai'Sa. So far, nothing too crazy. We'd be looking at potentially something like an Ezreal for Super. They could also consider locking in a strong top side and then potentially banning more top laners out. Or they could even... I mean, I'd be surprised if they go for something like a Rel. It depends if Alvaro wants to get himself something strong early, but it looks like they're going to go for the strong top side and then look to ban out things like the Gnar potentially, Renekton, maybe even a Garen, Darius also a possibility.
Definitely is. Now we'll see if 80 carry bans are the option for the side of Rogue if they want to limit the pool of potential picks that Supa can bring to bear. The three-man core that Rogue have assembled is really strong. Great pick, great setup. Kai'Sa can easily follow both of these champions as they dive, but she does have some weak lane matchups that maybe Rogue will look to take away. On blue side, they won't have the luxury of counter picking, so can't guarantee a bot lane with a nice support option. But of course, it does depend on what MKOI want to go for.
They could be thinking about Zyra Khan as well, with the Poppy ban as well. It just increases the value of that Rakan pick. Of course, Talia is still going to be obnoxious to deal with, but for all intent and purposes, a possible bot lane. Of course, the Ezreal is still available if Super wants to play a little bit more from ranged. It is, of course, one of his most played from the regular season with a Corki close, well, I say close behind it, right next to it, I should say. Yep. Imagine something like the Gnar or the, Jax is also fine. There's always the pocket picks that Adam has available to him, things like Garen, Darius, Set, even a possibility as a response to the Ambessa.
Nico now as well, so bit of respect to Alvaro and just not wanting to give him a ranged advantage. And there was, Vetty, you're just on point with your predictions, gotta say. You're not even in spectator client in a way that gives you like a 30-second advantage sometimes. You're just actually just calling these out.
They're not supposed to know about that.
Oh, my bad. Just clean calls on the Rakan. The broadcast secret. This is my bad. That's a Deficio special. Also a 2016 callback. Okay, so we got a Yorick. That's kind of hype. I like seeing a Yorick paired alongside a Rel. So a bit of spice here to round out this one alongside the Xayah Rakan. Not surprising at all to see the Xayah. But Yorick now coming in too.
I will say, I don't know if Yorick makes a huge amount of sense in the context of the comp. Like, I think he's a really effective split pusher. I think that he can provide value in fights. Do I think that he's ever really going to threaten an Ahri or a Xayah? I think that's going to be a difficult one to execute on.
But you can make a little wall, and then when she ults, she's, you know,
a little wall. That is true.
Make a little circle.
Yeah, I definitely, on paper, prefer KOI's comp. I think, funnily enough, both sides really want to dive. I think the biggest difference is that KOI have a decent amount of anti-dive tools simply due to the sheer mobility that they have on their sides. I think that a Poppy would have been really valuable for Rogue, but they were the ones that panned it away. And I think that KOI can play as aggressively as they want. They've got so much agency. They're going to lose Prio in the mid lane matchup. Top side, I think, is relatively slow early between the two top laners. Wouldn't surprise me, though, if things go a little bit more in favor of Yorick until Ambessa gets a few more items under her belt. On the bot side of the map, Xayah Rakan will definitely have control, so I wonder if KOI will look for early ganks towards that bot side of the map.
The gods of analytics are telling me that it's a great matchup for Yorick, although Yorick and solo queue seems to have a lot of great matchups. Perhaps just a strong solo queue pick. We'll see if it transitions into pro play. The final regularly scheduled game or match of the regular season. Of course, tiebreakers on the horizon.
Tomorrow, right? We got that locked in?
Yes, sir. Maybe.
I'm pretty sure it's Vitality versus Heretics.
There you go. I just wasn't sure if the tomorrow. I wasn't sure if the world knew.
Do you think I've leaked something?
I don't know. I have that tingle in the back of my head where I'm like, did we say that publicly? Who knows? What else can we leak?
It's Vitality Heretics tomorrow at 8 PM.
There you go. Easy.
People might be like, why isn't it Giants? And honestly, I haven't looked at it closely enough to tell you guys.
Game score.
I'm pretty sure it's game score, yeah. That's almost certainly the reason why.
It is. Confirmed. Thank you, production. Here we are now in game. Some posturing, some poking.
Minions have spawned.
Not quite yet. Okay, so strong mid-jungle duos. MKOI with a more powerful early lane phase, although level 1, Kaisa can still do some work.
I mean, why don't we just follow Trey? What's he up to?
That's actually a great call.
I mean, also, I'm so nonchalant about the fact that
where's Ginny? Ginny should just get down there with a mic. We should ask him, like it's a show, man.
But I just completely, I'm just so used to like, yeah, Rel bot lane, that makes sense. And then I'm like, oh right, it's Malrang. It's Rel bot lane.
Yeah, if you're just joining us, execute out for a single game due to some unintentional, but regardless, poor comms in game. Some crass language. And while language barrier was the cited reason, intent versus impact sort of dealy, he's not here. So now we got Trick in the jungle and Malrang in the bot lane as it's an absolute fist fight mid lane. Complete insanity at level 1 between Ahri and Talia.
What? He TP'd! Larson TP'd after flashing! Did he think he had Ignite?
I have a theory.
Can we get Larson's POV?
Pro view.
Oh, we're not going to get his POV.
It's fine.
So he gets level 2 first, he flashes, and then
he fat fingers in! Because he's pushing on the spot that he wants to do the unraveled earth or the seismic shove, but he just fat fingers in. That's right, KOI, that's, oh God. It's like you're embarrassed, you like want to laugh because it's your opponent, but you're also just embarrassed for him. Oh gosh. And I gotta say, you know, Larson is kind of the king of rough moments. I remember the...
I'm not going to bring up the package.
I was going to bring it up. It's a day for nostalgia. It's not a day for stakes. See, I got to bring something. All right, well.
Jojo gets first.
Okay, but think about this. We mentioned earlier how rough it would be heading into the next week of scrims for MKOI if they had lost to Rogue with Trick jungle Malrank support.
I mean, yeah.
But how much rougher would it be with Trick jungle Malrank support, Larson TPing to a minion at level 2? So the stakes only continue to get higher for MKOI's mental.
True.
We are bordering on absolute collapse.
It only takes a single Saliel to change everything.
It's true.
That's all it takes.
100%.
Trick is shadowing.
He's here. It's a good time to play jungle. I feel like Pantheon is, it's not a Gragas or a
I
Jarvan.
want to say it's a throwback. Pantheon jungle, he's been a jungle pick for many years.
Yeah, it kind of is.
He kind of goes through phases, right? I just don't remember if he was meta back in 2016. That was...
No, he wasn't. No, that was old Pantheon. I think that was pre-rework.
They're the same champ, bro. I don't know how to break this to you. You might think they're different because one's more modern than the other. They still point and click. They still hit you in the face.
Old Pantheon was more broken because his passive just blocked tower shots. So you just walked in, ate a tower shot. W reset his passive, so you'd block another tower shot.
That's true.
Q was a point and click. Yeah, it was broken. His E didn't do anything. No one cared about his E.
That's why Pantheon mid back in the day used to be hella broken because you literally just spam. You run the refill, not the refillable potion, the 500 gold 3-stack
corrupting
potion.
Yeah.
And you just throw spears and you just don't run out of mana.
Yeah.
And it's just super obnoxious to deal with.
Yeah. It's like when GP was strong. You just queued. His lane is unplayable.
Yep.
That's why people call Janna AP Pantheon, even though Pantheon doesn't have a point and click anymore. That's the origin of that. For those
We get rid of a lot of point and clicks. Problem is, if we go down this rabbit hole, we're going to start talking about old Sion.
Dude.
Yeah.
Shout out old Sion.
There are people on the rift.
I want to tell you right now, if you are a silver to gold player in League of Legends, you could have been diamond in season 1.
Okay, I mean...
And it's not because it's like, just in general, the league skill player base has gone up, but like you have to understand how crazy this game was.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that in a good way. It was not good. Like the rose-tinted glasses are on. It was not a good thing that Sion could one-shot people as an AP champion.
Yeah, there was no interaction either. He just
there was no interaction.
One-shot you.
The interaction was...
He would DFG you, stun you, blow up the shield, and you died.
Yeah, that was it.
Good old times.
Great times. Brief game check-in before we continue our podcast of nostalgia here. We're 6 minutes in. Feels like we've been talking forever. Level 6 around the corner for Adam. Mir1 already got his level 6. Obviously, that's the Omni Vamp. Does make things feel a little bit better. But level 6 for the Yorick. Huge power spike. And overall... Gold lead in mid, really the only big one. Small leads elsewhere for KOI, but really doesn't amount to too much quite yet. Neither side has gone for an early Drake, and we're 2 minutes away from the Grub spawn, which for now it seems like Mir1's got top pressure under wraps. Mid pressure also in the favor of MKOI, so things looking pretty good as Elyoya. Charging up, Q flash. Will he do it or will he fumble? He gets the Q flash. It's perfect. Follow up there. Electrocute. Elyoya takes that kill. MKOI make it happen.
Yeah, they make it look easy, and that's because the Q flash does connect. Larson, I wasn't sure if his flash had actually come back up. I think it was, but he wasn't able to react in time, and it's a difficult thing to react to. But he ends up connecting, making it easy for the Charm to connect, and it's an easy kill underneath the tower. Now both the mid and jungle duo find themselves with an early kill lead, and KOI sitting in a comfortable advantage for the time being.
Oh yeah, it's getting more comfortable too. I think the Ahri getting a free kill early was nice to have. Helping JoJo secure that lane prio. Random ignite. A little bit more damage down onto Supa. Malrank going in to finish off the kill. Bot lane. Larson coming in for a bit of vengeance. Flick back hits 2. That's some solid follow-up. Patrick now trying to finish the kill, but Supa's still standing. But it's Malrank. Who else? The playmaker. The autofill support. Gets it done on the bottom side.
I mean, it's a clean 2 versus 2 kill to kind of set things up. Of course, Larson coming in to clean things up, but he realizes that he's been put very far behind in the mid lane. So screw it. Go roaming around the map. See if you can impact elsewhere. Trick can go and catch the mid wave, and they make the play happen. Malrank sees an opportunity. The positioning from Supa ends up getting caught out. An early ignite to get as much damage down as possible. The heal is delayed to make sure the ignite wears off, but at this point he's too low. And then the double knockback comes in from Larson to set up for Malrank to flash and provide his team with 2 kills. Going over to Patrick as well, so Rogue equalizing the kill score just like that. The only problem is JoJo is continuing to build advantages in the mid lane, now almost with a 1k gold lead.
And that's a pretty terrifying position to be. Ulti has come off cooldown, see if he makes a play before he goes back and picks up Malignance. Now though, Larson recouping what he can. And we'll see if it's the Patrick Malrank duo who can start to turn the tides in the favor of Rogue. Neither side moving to grubs. I say that now, looking down at the mini-map, Rogue are already on the grubs, so good spot to be. Adam now weak siding. We'll see if he can survive what feels like an inevitable dive here in bot lane. Made in the mist, taking a bit of chip damage.
Ooh, but look, the little minions are actually holding the wave in place, so there's no wave underneath the tower. They need a little bit more time. I thought Malrang would look to reset here to potentially cover the dive, but Adam is sticking around.
Well, last rights there. Being between the walls, definitely tough. Flashing away for the knock-up. Plays the wall down. Elio goes into the thing. Now he's just trying to move away. The feathers are flying. He's backstepping. He's moving through. He's finally going to get rooted up. It looks like he'll fall, but it takes Jojo can come in as well because there's a bit more healing. They finally claim the feat of warfare, but that was a bit too close for comfort.
It certainly was. Adam was a lot tankier than they were expecting, and they needed 4 members to make the play happen. You know, we talked earlier about Malrang resetting. If he actually, there was so much time in actually setting up for the dive. I think Adam could have just retreated from the tower, waited for Malrang to arrive. But I guess it makes sense that there's a bit of a disconnect, given that your jungler is playing on support, and he ends up losing his life. So KOI get themselves another kill, and it goes into the pockets of Jojo as well, now surpassing the 1K advantage over Larson.
All right, all eyes on Jojo to try to cement this advantage further.
All eyes on Trick, because this will be his second objective of the game. They did invest 4 members on the bot side of the map, which was a lot of people. Can he get away?
He can. And we've solved the problem, Eddie. Sometimes you just need another jungler. Trick is the objective guy. Malrang is the aggression guy. They've solved it.
You mean what have they solved?
They're getting both of the things they need from a jungler. They've lost some of what they need from a support.
Right.
But not too much, because Engage is also a support thing.
True. I mean, you can be confident that Rogue's going to fight.
Which is really all you can ask for. You gotta, you know, rage against the dying of the light or whatever. It feels like a too dramatic of a quote.
What tangent are you going on?
I've just got a lot of energy and nostalgia, and not a lot of stakes.
Right.
Larson, bit of a knockback. Trick now getting involved. Supa just trying to scoot his boot out of there. Patrick laying down a bit of damage. Lethal Tempo fully stacked, and Supa will fall.
I mean, I will say, Larson is being super proactive on the map right now.
Yes, he is.
He is using that ult off cooldown, working with his team to find plays.
Is Trick giving them the Niski effect?
Is
he just calling shots? On his player cam, he's not saying anything, but perhaps it's gone beyond verbal communication.
I mean, Rogue are coordinating well to find these early picks, and again, even though they find themselves at a gold deficit, all of that is sitting onto Jojo. And the question will be, can Jojo impact the game enough, because these objectives are starting to mount, and so Rogue have a clear win condition still available to them. The gold isn't insurmountable, and the rest of the map is not that weak for them, especially given that they just found another pick onto Super.
Yeah, and Ari, a champion who, not completely on a timer, but with this kind of gold lead, you want to make the most of it, try to snowball as quickly as you can. Certainly winning out in the side lane, but not generating a greater advantage quite yet. Still a 2K gold lead, though. That's your highlight.
Going back to the states thing you were talking about earlier, like, Rogue is aware that they're out. You know, their season is over, and right now KOI is basically just kind of fighting for that 3rd, 4th place spot between them and G2. And it's a situation where you're definitely right that from Rogue's perspective, if they lose, they lose. They've had a really difficult season. If they get a win, nice.
Yeah.
But if KOI lose, you're going to end your season losing to Rogue, the last place team.
And we've also seen, you know, frustratingly so, is where you have another Engage going through on the bottom side. Perfect combo, shut down.
It's flawless. Onto the target with all the gold as well.
How can they cover mid, though? That's the question.
They cannot. KOI is going to get a lot of plates here. Their cross-mapping is very good. But credits to Rogue, Trick, Malrang, and Larson. You know, you said they might have solved it. Low-key. Like, they're finding picks across the map.
Okay, the other thing that I'll note, if you're new to the LEC or if you don't, like, remember the final games of the last, you know, 5 or 6 seasons, there are so many teams that have been at the bottom of the standings that the second they were mathematically eliminated, played incredibly. Astralis, Origin, Excel, so many teams. The second it's like, okay, you don't have a chance anymore, they played like demons.
You like Schalke?
Schalke, yes, another great example. Oda was on one of those teams, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he was. I mean, they made playoffs.
Yeah. Well, that was the miracle.
Yeah, but that's
right?
what I mean. They were at a point where they had nothing to lose.
Yeah.
And they needed the stars to truly align.
Just to be clear, though, there's no stars left.
Yeah, there is none. There is.
Rogue are in the tilt them stage, where
It's a moral victory.
They want to leave a lasting impact on the playoffs by sending MKOI down an unrecoverable mental spiral.
And also, how Giga Chad is that for Trick? Shows up,
So
wins a series, leaves, and he's just like beats
undefeated in 2025. Oh, I'm sorry, Canyon. Konami.
Wouldn't that just be crazy? He just shows up, and he just, imagine if he then types in all chat 1647.
What's the best part about stats? You can say anything you want. That's the greatest win rate of any European or Korean.
Okay, now I see the stakes. It's all on the line for Koi.
They might all be memes, but they're kind of good memes. You have to admit.
Well, right now, Koi do find themselves with a lead, but that lead is dwindled.
Yeah.
Of course, all the gold advantage primarily sitting onto Jojo, who's, for the time being, focusing on playing them through a side lane. Dragon going to be spawning in 30 seconds. So we'll see who has better position on that.
The answer appears to be MKOI. They got a lot of pressure there. Top lane still in a relatively even state. So while there are 4 members of Rogue on the bottom side of the map, they don't have bot pressure. Mid is in an even state. And Adam isn't really winning out on the 1v1. The difference in that Eclipse being finished does make this matchup tough, even with Adam having the ultimate available. Or active, I should say.
So there we go. Dragon is now up. Algoya returning.
They've conceded mid tower.
Trick is ulting.
Adam's going all in. Trick has arrived. Nice escape from Mirwin, though. Quick reactions. Well-timed public execution. Cost him his flash as well. But now this tower might be in trouble.
Yeah, that was very clean from Mirwin. But Rogue are cross-mapping super effectively. They're going to get the first tower of the game. They will concede the Dragon, but they are completely fine with that. And with their numbers, they may even push for the tier 2 as well.
They did lose mid tower about 10 seconds before they took that was
so
the second tower game. They did. Their cross map was all of them ignoring mid completely and running top with a wave push. So I am hyped for the Rogue plays, but they are trading down in terms of gold consistently. But the Herald could make the difference. Is now a TP up.
Backing off. I mean, Adam does have TP, but I guess they're saying that they're not strong enough to fight for it. Alright, so ultimately it's still a very winning play for Koi, because they ended up getting 2 towers that will also get the Herald and the Dragon. And so while the idea is quite nice from Rogue, ultimately it is a pretty significant net loss.
Yeah. Well, we're sitting around this 2K situation for MKOI. Some of that gold now going up to Mirwin is a little bit of the lead for Jojo Pune was, shaved off. But they've gotten the feats as well. And this is going to be a tough one, because as excited as we are about the theoretical memes and storylines for Rogue and the Trick comeback, this is Elyoya on Vi and Alvaro on Rakan, 2 of the best playmakers in our league. So even if Rogue can even things up, it's still tough.
I will also say, just huge credit to Jojo. I think he's had a really good split overall.
Yeah.
And, obviously his debut into the split was contentious. A lot of people had eyes on him.
Vedius, did you just caster curse him? Caster curse! Nice job, Eddie. Everyone can blame at Vedius. Rogue,
I was trying
the trap baited. Jojo Pune lost in a moment, thinking he can hear the casters. Is that someone praising me, he says to himself. Takes his eyes off the screen. 1 second, and now he's dead. Perhaps MKOI could find vengeance.
I mean, tricky, sneaky. Yeah, sneaky, sneaky, sneaky.
I mean, that's the thing, is that Jojo Pune spent the entire split playing against Malrang jungle. He's not ready for the particular quirk.
Trick and Malrang working
together.
Yeah, I mean,
2
so
gank-focused Korean junglers in the same game, Benny?
You think they're speaking English, Jojo? They're not.
I mean, that... Ooh. Is that the next level of Rogue comms? The split language comms?
Are you aware of the meme?
I am aware of the meme, but also just thinking about it. I took it as a genuine thing.
Well, right now, Rogue find themselves only 500 gold down. They've been able to... Well, they haven't really put Jojo behind. He still has Horizon Focus and the Malignance completed. He's still very strong, but Jojo's impact has very much been limited. Green bars on the bottom of your screen, going ever so slightly in favor of Rogue. They have ways to win this game, even though the map state definitely favors Koi right now, given the towers that they've been able to secure, the Herald that they're about to drop in mid lane as well. I don't know if they have enough to secure it, though.
TP mid, Trick on the way, Malrang on the way, and not enough to secure it. But MKOI, I think, smartly back away, recognizing the semi-global potential to get a little bit more done as Malrang starts to Sniff around bottom lane, see if you can find an Ahri.
We're doing a good job of trying to keep the pressure up, keeping those waves pushed in as often as they can. Primarily playing through two waves. You'll notice the push in mid and bot, and then just kind of moving through Rogue's bot side jungle to get some nice deep vision. We're now going to path back towards top and catch that wave, push that one out as we expect a few resets to come through from the rest of KOI. Say that, I should stand corrected actually, just jungle camps are going to be stolen instead. And by stolen, I mean Elyoya's camps are going to be stolen by his own team.
Yep.
There's no wave to farm, that jungle belongs to the laners, I'm afraid.
I think that's the right choice. Elyoya had his time in the sun. It's Supa's time to shine now. He needs a second item. Lagging a bit behind Patrick, definitely not an ideal spot to be.
Not prioritizing those boots, of course, puts his second item a little bit behind, but still, Xayah very strong even on one item. Top tower is getting quite weak, but I think Rogue should be in time to respond as Adam catches this wave, and now we kind of set ourselves up nicely for the dragon spawning in about 50 seconds. Of course, tied 1 to piece from both sides.
And maybe this is the first full 5v5 contest that we have in this game. It's been a lot of trading objectives, a lot of playing to opposite sides of the map. I think some of that is Rogue either trying to fall in to find JoJo's shutdown or to play away from the Ahri so they don't have to deal with the gold lead that JoJo has amassed, but now perhaps we see...
I mean, Larson was a full level down, and now he's just even again.
Yeah.
And in terms of items, he's, what, boots behind?
Yeah.
So, not in the worst spot.
Also, as we go further, I much prefer Seraph.
Oh, there you go. The large rod just got picked up by JoJo on his way back into the map. That makes sense. That pretty much is exactly the gold difference between the two mid laners.
Now Otacon spawning bot lane. Alvaro smartly places the ward down first. Adam sees Elyoya. Quick flashing out, respecting the potential of the Q flash from Elyoya, and MKOI are just going to break down mid lane tier 2.
So cross maps continue from both sides. Rogue aren't going to be too unhappy about the dragon secure, but the rest of the map is not looking good as towers continue to fall.
Rogue have thrown out the League of Legends textbook completely.
This is an ambitious start. TPs are going to be channeled.
They're going to force this.
I don't know if they are, Dracos.
They just conceded 2 towers to take a Drake and then start Otacon?
But look at Adam. He says, screw this, I'm going bot lane.
He's going to try to even up the trade. Wanting to Q forward. JoJo peeing off to the side. Mountering ready to body block. Adam is eating that tower alive. Another Yorick experience. He'll break a tower. Starting to even up the gold difference. Now Rogue have been herded in.
It's very awkward.
They have to hold the line. The ghouls have been thrown in. Rogue marching forward. The cavalry have gone in. JoJo Pune deleted. Suba off to the side, completely untouched. They're starting to pop Larson. Larson goes golden for a brief moment. Out comes Mirwin. Mirwin trying to get the damage down. Rogue retreating. Larson still doing decent damage, but Suba's going to be able to find the kill. A quick pickup, but Rogue still remain on the hunt. It's a double kill to 1 for 3. In the end, Rogue went out.
It's a team fight victory for Rogue. Their target selection onto JoJo was fantastic. And the engage from Malrang. This man is designed to play engaged champions. I just wasn't expecting.
It's Rel jungle
It's Rel
from last year.
Look at the snap engage that he gets onto JoJo here. Catches him completely unaware. Insta-stun. Nice flash response, but the stun still connects. The follow-up means that JoJo cannot get away. And while the engage from Alvaro to threaten the backline of Rogue, it just isn't enough. So they turn their attention onto Mirwin. They get that kill, ends up being a trade back. The double still comes through from Patrick. And as you rightly said, Dracos, it ends up being a 3-for-1 in Rogue's favor.
And you can see how many autos Supa got down, but this 2 item point just isn't enough for Supa to carry the team fight in terms of damage once JoJo's just been deleted. And that's the kind of misstep they can't afford to make again, because while that entire sequence of play started off very questionable. Started off with them conceding 2 towers to take a Drake. It ended with them winning a team fight and getting Otacon.
Yeah. I'm somewhat confused as to what is happening right now, Dracos, I will be honest.
Well, I think MKOI are similarly confused, and Rogue are just taking insanely high gamble plays, or high-risk plays.
I mean, I just think that Trick and Malrang are mega locked in right now.
No, I agree they're super locked in, but like on paper, that was a terrible gamble. Like they're playing blackjack, they hit on 17. Deals, what, are you kidding me? They're like, trust me. 4. How? How? Wow, Betty. It's not supposed to happen, but it
I mean, both comps want to dive, and I guess whoever dives first just has the edge, right?
Well, MKOI just dove first. Patrick lived for a second here. That's the ulti down. Trick there. Ready with the shield to defend.
TP'd with Larson as well. I mean, Rogue quite quick on the trigger finger. I think that's a good summation of this game from them.
Yeah, 100%.
Both in their aggression and in their responses to Koi. Still though, Baron now spawning in about a minute and a half. You can already see the map pressure that Koi has generated significantly slowing down. You haven't really seen them. So my issue with how they're playing is if Jojo is playing in a side lane and he's your strong point, just have Elyoya shadow him. Just have him, or have Alvaro shadow him and just like use them to try and find a pick and sides, create a numbers advantage, and then convert it into something else. So far they've just kind of been trading farm back and forth. And Rogue's been like, okay. And it's they who have been the aggressors, right? It's Maorang and Trick who have been constantly looking for these picks. And they're the ones kind of dictating the pace. Admittedly, though, Koi is constantly cross-mapping. You kind of look at the map state, and you can see that the general play is on Rogue's side to the Rift. The waves are constantly being pushed in. Vision is being invested into Rogue's side of the jungle. They're inherently playing defensively, but fascinatingly, this isn't stopping their aggression. They're still finding ways to be proactive where they can.
And again, I think they're just willing. They're just playing higher risk. They're willing to concede a tier 1 tower to try and force a play.
It's a verdant barrier. He's like, no.
Which I think is probably the right choice at this point.
Probably.
It will be hard to hold on to that, though.
I think so. Against Talia, probably. And Kai'Sa W.
Oh, yeah. And I assume we have some AP in the near future coming in for Patrick.
I'm expecting it, yeah.
Recurve, presumably a Nashor's, but we'll find out soon. Charm there. Decent damage onto Adam. Barrier's gone. And Adam is also a demon in these side lanes. Still tough for him to do much into Jojo because of the rain disadvantage, but if he ever gets CC'd, the Yorick does a lot of work, and even just the basic sustain on his Q, keeping him relatively healthy.
Okay, so Dragon, 8 seconds.
And they're going to probably just concede topside tier 2 to start this. No, it's full health.
Ari goes back to base. The TP will come in from Jojo. Are they quick enough to respond? I think they will be. Yeah, Rogue is going to back away.
Perhaps another fight. Larson on the way down 2. They're losing a wave to be here. MKOI, if they just play slow, they should be fine. But off on the side, it's Maorang going in. Jojo P once again isolated. Alvaro starting his ult, but there's not really a great target hit. He's only connected on the Maorang. There's no immediate fall damage jumping onto Patrick. That's a lot of resources burned. Maorang trading his ulti for 2 ultis on the opposing side. So not starting off too bad for Rogue. Eyes on Elyoya with the Vault Breaker. Dragon won't fall. Rogue's still down about 300 gold for losing that top wave and mid wave just to be here.
Rogue have lost a lot of their tools.
Charm Flash coming in from Jojo P. Lockup is there. Immediately Larson is down, but he's not. He goes golden for an extra second. They should just be able to finish the kill. Larson still retreating. Larson holding on. The feathers fly. Larson drops an MKOI. Take control of the pit. The spear shot through will not be able to steal out another charm. Landing onto Trick. Maorang with the Q, the Shattering Strike to try to make his way out, but that's the ulti now coming in from Elyoya. The immediate turn back onto the jungler. Elyoya recognizing he might have bit off a little bit too much with the flash forward from Mirwin. A W in from Alvaro. They don't quite have the damage to fight this. Oh, you're ready to go. Jojo coming around the corner as well. Rogue backing away. Not an ideal exchange in the end. Straight picked up by MKOI.
I mean, Koi ultimately get what they want, and some great charms come through from Jojo as he connects onto Larson and onto Trick, providing that potential follow-up. We'll see the snap engage here onto Larson. He's caught completely unawares, and this time it's Larson that's chain CC'd. He is able to get the Zhonya's off, but it only really buys him a little bit of time, as the ultimate will come through from Super to finish that one off, helping them secure the Dragon. Rogue immediately forced to retreat, and again, another nice charm. Opens up for a potential chase. Trick, though, forced to retreat. Nice use of the wall from Adam to create space between Koi following up. Mirwin even committed his flash, a little bit overzealous at the end there. But still, only a single kill. Dragon falls, gold still within strike distance of Rogue.
Yeah, back to the 2K difference that they held on to earlier in the game, but you can see now 3 items for Supa is going to make these fights a bit tougher alongside the fully completed Banshees for Jojo. That much closer to level 16 as well, so ult should essentially just be up all the time.
I find themselves in a matchup that I imagine they expected to be much easier than what we're seeing so far from Rogue. I think what's crucial for Rogue is that when they snap onto that target, they have to kill them.
Yep.
You talked about how Rogue was a little disconnected because you had that engage happening around the blue buff onto Jojo, but then Jojo was able to create space between him and the engage, and then 3 ultimates ended up used. Larsen's ult was gone, Patrick ult and Malrang ult was all used, and at that point you're like, well, we don't have anything left to fight, so we really shouldn't. And then of course they end up overstepping. So I think KOI now recognize this, and as long as they can play around that initial engage, then their re-engage should be more than strong enough to turn the fight in their favor.
I also just think you're at the point now where Supa just does enough damage to carry a fight.
Oh, for sure.
As long as he has the space to work, and it does feel like it comes down to which bot laner or AD gets caught. And the most vulnerable member right now probably is Larsen, I would say, even despite having the Zhonya's, because once he's caught out of position, I just don't think it matters. But we'll see 2.5 seconds of going golden, and he'll just die in the end. But in the meantime, Rogue taking the Baron, perhaps attempting the heist, but they're down a man now. Full committing to the play. 6K, Elyoya, can he steal it? Trick and Malrang, 2 junglers in the pit. 2v1 jungle showdown, Trick! He wins those! He's still got the skills! It's Patrick over the wall, he's managed to hold on for every second. Invested now going in. Patrick still living for an extra second. Elyoya now taking down the flash away, trying to get over Mirwin, dashing, diving, the Drake hound step, keeping him standing. Now Supa going over the wall, desperate to get this Malrang mounting up and running for the hills, but he'll go down in the end. Wall laid down. Maiden hitting on Supa. Supa not keen, does not want that number. And Adam slowly running away. One-on-one, he's got a decent amount of stain, but not enough to win this battle. Ghouls summoned. Adam down. Baron taken, but no one will get the buff.
Yeah, KOI kind of back to business as usual as they find themselves a nice ace versus Rogue. They'll remove the entire Baron buff. They'll finally break into the base. They'll expose the inhibitor, and while they may not be able to secure it, KOI putting themselves, well, I want to say KOI putting themselves in a good position, but losing the Baron makes ending the game that much harder.
It does.
So the initial pick comes through onto Larsen. Jojo tanks it in order to connect the charm, so they get this initial pick. There's little he can do to wave clear. Rogue wisely cross-map and make a play for the Baron, but as you can see, it dies much faster than KOI is able to react to. Elyoya gets into the pit, but he doesn't quite connect the smite. He then gets sent, targeted down. He uses Patrick to get out of the pit. Then the follow-up from both Mirwin and Alvaro means that he then survives for a little bit longer. While Patrick does get that initial kill, he's asked to invest so much that Mirwin can then turn things around, and Supa is by his side to help clean up the fight.
Yeah, and you can see Adam still decently strong in the cut next to 1v1, but just cannot win out there with the health difference, especially now with the armor pen going through. Look at the damage dealt to champions this game. York.
Yeah.
I say.
He just chips away at people's HP bar, especially with the maiden out. KOI, though, they will likely set their sights on the next dragon. They've got a bit of pressure on towards the top side, chipping away that tower, but it's going to be a difficult objective to take.
The game at this point is getting just tough. You can see that Patrick, when he dives in, it's so easy for Elyoya to just throw that ult down. When he gets on top, it's really hard for him to get out. And of course, Larsen wasn't in that fight, wasn't able to use any Unraveled Earths to stop any of that pressure from the Anvesa. But maybe Rogue just want to fight again. They do have a bit more AP for Patrick. He has the evolved W now. Larsen's picking up a bit of Magic Pen. So maybe there's an angle for a better fight. Celestial opposition procced. Larsen spotting Mirwin on the side, and they're instantly just going to try to kill the top laner. He flashes over the wall, but the Drake is already down, so Rogue might have spotted the flanker, but they'll still lose the objective as Adam wants to keep his sights set in the mid lane. Decent damage. Charm is there, though. Jojipune certainly hurting. Steric's going to keep Adam standing, and now Rogue needs to get the hell out. One more dash forward. Charm flash in. Patrick goes golden, but he's just going to die in the end. Pantheon now desperately trying to escape. All of Rogue retreating. Adam about to fall. Mirwin continuing to dive in. It is a complete and total slaughter. Malrang and Trick split up. Each of them trying to find their way to safety, but MKOI looks like they'll just close it out here. All right.
It's a beautiful engage from KOI, punishing Adam as he gets a little too close to the tower. And once they remove the front line, the chase through comes from KOI. Good target selection, good damage, and ultimately, good game as KOI look to take game 1 of this series.
1 or 2 slip-ups perhaps, 1 or 2 moments where they were caught out, but they were consistently trading up in terms of objectives. Rogue's creative plays couldn't last any further. MKOI closing out game 1 and taking their time trying to finish off Trick.
Bit of wholesome in the old chat as Trick wrote, "How is my jungle?" And then Mirwin replies, goated, of course. And it's thank you so much. And I mean, he did have a great performance, all things considered.
Yeah.
Their aggression in the early game was great to watch, and I loved seeing Trick and Maorang get off to a proactive start, punishing Jojo on the side lane as often as they could. Ultimately, though, when it came down to the 5v5, KOI was just the better team.